What's up, guys? Justin Rhodes with Bushido Martial Arts here. Going to do a unique video. I'm always saying if you ask me a question, I'll make a video for you um, to do the best I can to reply. First thing I want to lay out for this video is that this is still kind of new to me. I'm a little bit old school. I'm not of the TikTok generation. So it's really cool to me when I've got a coach from Australia, from around the world, reaching out to me and asking questions about my program. And putting my videos out there of the bully beatdowns has really been an eye-opening and positive interaction in my life. I was always worried about putting them out there because I knew there was going to be a bunch of people that could look at it, excuse me, one way or the other. And since putting them out there, it has been almost 100% positive. It's like I said, the few people that do comment, it's just haters that got something negative to say about anything. It's all they get on TikTok for. I just block them. And then every once in a while we get somebody that gets on there and has, obviously some concerns, but very few people present it to me the way this guy did. He presented a video or a little voice recording. I'm going to try to figure out how to put that in this video. I think it'll be in here. But to go from there, I'm going to cover his questions.
Hey team, salutations and a big g'day from down under Australia. Love what you guys are doing on the page. Hey, I'm a jiu-jitsu coach myself. I teach kids, and I'm just wondering what the kind of level the kids have before they're able to do this, and how does it go? Do you have a dedicated day where it's optional? Do kids get to lay down a challenge? Are there a few different parameters that set this up? And is there a more laid back version for younger kids, or you have to be at a certain age? And I guess from a safety perspective, how do you my only thing is kids copping some pretty decent leather in the face young, so potential future ramifications, but I understand that this is real. And it's really important that kids get that kind of pressure testing. Have you had a situation where it's gone out of control, and how have you mitigated that?
So he asked, what kind of level do they have when they start this? Is there a required level? And not really. If you look through my videos, you will see some very young kids, 5, 6 years old, white belts, and we let them give it a try. It's voluntary at that point. I don't require them do it. There's certain level that they get to that every kid is going to go one or two routes. They want to do it. They've seen it. They're all about it. I talked about this in previous videos of whether you have kind of an aggressive kid or a passive kid. And then you got some kids that would never do it. They just wouldn't do it on their own. So we give them a little push. And I let all my kids know that, sooner or later your day is coming. You're going to get up here just like, a jiu-jitsu match or a competition. Sooner or later your day is coming. And so it is kind of mandatory at my school that they get up here one day. They will get up here. So I leave it all voluntary at first in the younger levels, and you'll see these little bitty guys, 5, 6 year olds that get up here and they're having a blast. So their skill level is low. What I do to decide whether they can continue to do it is, do I like what I see? Are they exhibiting the ability to stay safe? If they're getting up there and I had one little boy recently that he's having the time of his life. He's having fun. He's smiling. He's getting punched in the face. You'd think he's playing in a jump house. He's having a good old time. But he was going against another little 6-year-old little girl that wasn't really hitting him hard, so he could eat those punches and laugh about it. There are other kids on my mat that if he got the assumption to call them out, he's not going to like getting hit like he was in this match. But my point is, he got up, he had fun, and if he exhibits the ability to be safe, I let him do it. If I feel like what he's doing is not safe, like getting hit a lot, I go, okay, buddy, and he'll raise his hand the next day too. I mean, that's the thing, these kids raise their hands every day. They want to do this. They love it. They enjoy it. If he raises his hand and I feel like he's not ready, then I tell him, no, not today, buddy. You know, let's do a little more training. Let's get a little more training time in before we get back up here. Another reason that I wouldn't let them get up here is sometimes kids, I get some tough kids, man, and they're too tough for their own good. And they'll stay up there all day getting hit. Again, you have to go back to the gloves and the fact that these are young kids and they're not able to really hit hard enough to make one another just one hit quit. You know, they'll eat punches and they'll eat them and eat them and eat them. And if I feel like the kid's hanging in there, he's doing takedowns, but he's just not going to be able to finish the fight. He just doesn't have the skills to get a good pin and control the kid or a submission. Then same thing. I feel like it's kind of a safety deal. Now the kid's probably not going to get hurt from the punches, but he's not going to be able to finish the fight. So what's the point in letting him just stay up here and just get beat on and beat on and beat on and beat on and beat on until he finally quits, or he doesn't quit and the guy gets tired of punching him, you know? So I require those two things when you talk about what kind of level. Are they able to safely do it? You know, exhibit the skills, keep their hands up, protect their face. Are they able to close the distance? Are they able to use decent clinch work, get a decent takedown? Are they able to use good control skills on the ground? There is a lot of times that I will stop matches. Kids get a takedown, get on top, but they're just still getting hit from the bottom. One of my most viewed videos is from a top level kid with another top level kid. And that level, when we start moving up you know, like, so I'm sorry, let me backtrack a little bit for you, buddy. I'm trying to get your questions as thoroughly as I can. At gray belt, we just kind of let them do their thing, and they work for chokes. At white belt, all they have to do is pin the guy for 10 seconds. I feel like at that age and at that level, hopefully there's an adult around to break up the fight. There should be, you know, in school. Not always the case, but we're relying on adult supervision. If my kids can get on them, get a pin, get control, we do a 10 count. But for that 10 count to start and to hold, they have to be able to control that position and not still be getting hit. Like, they can't be in a high mount and just getting hit in the face the whole time. I won't count it. If they're in cross body and they're low on the body and the kid's still able to just hammer away on their head, then I don't count it. So they've got to be able to get a good pin and control their opponent and shut down the striking. Okay, white belt. Gray belt, we try to start pushing them for chokes. They got to be able to do chokes. I don't allow any arm bars and bully beatdowns except as a last resort. As we get up to yellow belt, I start allowing a lot more, meaning I allow the bully to use some grappling. They're supposed to turn it off. But, you know, once they start grappling for a year or two, you know, it's instilled in them the way they move. It's hard to get them to just turn it off. So I allow some decent sprawls, some decent grappling, just as far as shuffling, moving, bridging, rolling. At the lower levels, I don't allow any closed guard. Like, they can use guard, they can use their feet if the bully's on his back, but I don't allow him to just lock guard and beat on the kid's head. They can use their legs, but they have to keep their guard open. As they get up into orange belt, I kind of allow it all. In green belt, it's go. It's whatever. I mean, if I have a kid that comes in, like I've had a black belt in Taekwondo and a black belt in karate come in, and they wanted to put on shin guards. They wanted to kick. And they said, can I kick? And I said, yeah. Well, I let them kick and everything so that my kids are equipped to deal with it. So level goes all the way from the beginning all the way to the highest level of green belt in my kids class. And the amount of grappling and what I allow in there kind of grows with the kid. You know, it should still always be a bully against a jiu-jitsu player, not an MMA guy against a jiu-jitsu player. It's already unfair if you look at it. One kid's allowed to strike and one kid's not. So this kid's, the only thing in his favor is he's got jiu-jitsu. This kid, if I allow him to use, because I get a lot of criticisms, people don't know what they're talking about, they don't watch the videos, they haven't done any research, and they say the bully's jiu-jitsu is terrible. It's not supposed to be good. It's supposed to be an untrained bully. Now, my rules are that bully can knock the socks off my jiu-jitsu player. You'll hear me in my video say, you can knock him out. You can pound him till he quits. But no counter grappling in the sense of, you know, grappling and striking against just grappling. It is striking against grappling. Most of my kids are not trained strikers either. They don't have boxing experience. Now, some of my kids do MMA, got a little bit better hands, but they're all young. I mean, none of them have got years of dedication in striking. So that'll answer your what kind of level do they have. As far as challenges, yes, every single day at the end of class, we do challenge matches for 15 minutes. Those challenge matches consist of jiu-jitsu matches, takedown matches, throw matches, best 2 out of 3 throws or takedowns, or a bully beatdown. 6 months out of the year, my school does competition. That's what we do. We don't do bully beatdowns. We only do competition for 6 months out of the year. We focus on that. We go out. We do very, very well at it. The other 6 months out of the year, no points, no competition, bully situations, challenge matches, no points. So at the end of every class, someone can call someone out. Again, every once in a while, Johnny, it's your turn, buddy. It's your day. You've been here about 6 weeks. You've gotten some skills. Let's give you your first match. I call him out. I put him on the spot. And I'm very on top of it. I tell him, I got you, buddy. You will not get hurt. I don't let him get hit a lot. I call out the equivalent kid that's not going to really hurt him. Or I call out a kid that I know and I trust is going to work with him. And just kind of hit him, but not really try to end him, okay? So other than that, it's voluntary. Every night the kids raise their hands, and the whole idea is to challenge themselves, to call someone out. So yes, every day we do it. I'm trying to look at my notes here, buddy. Trying to see what I've covered already, man. Bully beatdowns. I've covered the seasons. You asked for a laid-back variation. Just go through my videos. At the smallest kids, that's the laid-back version. It's always the same gloves. It's always the same rules. The gloves are really squishy, so they don't really allow kids. We get busted noses, bloody lips. Nothing you don't see in sometimes in jiu-jitsu class, period. I'd rather my kids be getting hit with these gloves than catch an accidental knee in the mouth or an elbow or head bunt. These gloves are safer than that. There is no chance of causing CTE. There is no chance of a concussion. The gloves, if you see, we don't allow them to strike to the back of the head. They must hit to the face. And that's for superficial reasons, just like in the UFC. If we get a bloody nose, it's over. The bully wins. Unless the kid wants to go, dry up the bloody nose, come back and finish the match. But generally, they're just, you see match after match after match after match, and nobody's really bleeding. We do get blood. We do get bloody noses and bloody lips. So there's not really a laid back version. It starts at ground level and it just gets more advanced. Safety. Okay, so again, no headgear, no mouthpieces, never had a chipped tooth, never had a bit tongue, never had any of the stuff that I've had in MMA. Anytime you got kids sparring in MMA, you got to have that headgear, that mouthpiece, that growing protection. We've never used it in 22 years. Don't need it. As long as you're using the gloves that I use, it's safe. You start putting MMA gloves on your kids, those are harder. You talk about kids tasting leather. MMA gloves are harder. Boxing gloves are harder. These gloves are super squishy. I'm going to have a link soon to where people can purchase those gloves from me, because I got a lot of questions about where can I get those gloves? Where can I get those gloves? So I'm going to put a link up there and allow people to buy them so you can get the right kind of glove. And they come in 3 different sizes: small, medium, and large. What else we got here? So back to what I said in the beginning, where I worried about putting my videos out there because this is what we do. I don't care what the rest of the world does. This is what I do at my school. And this is actually 90% of why parents come to my school. I got parents that leave other top jiu-jitsu schools with world champions that come to my school. Great guys out there teaching jiu-jitsu, and they leave and come to my school for self-defense. I got parents that have hopped around, been to a karate school, taekwondo school, another jiu-jitsu school, and just said it was all patting on the butt and, and good job and blah, blah, blah. And they go, look, I want my kid to learn to defend himself. So I'm not for everybody. And if I'm not, the door was open when you walked in it. It's open to walk back out it. Go find what suits you. If you want your kid to be at a competition only school and excel in competition, man, there's so many schools out there. There are no schools like mine. If you want your kid to play games time and set up obstacle courses and sword fight with water noodles and call that jujitsu or whatever martial arts, there are schools on every other corner like that. Go find that. But my school, it's a self-defense school, and the parents that bring their kids to my school know what they're looking for. Here's going to be the hard sell for you. Going from what people are used to something new. And you got to be willing to lose a few students. You got to be willing to have a few parents upset, because y'all, you know, everybody's got some soft parents that I mean, if their kid gets thrown too hard, they're crying. If their kid gets choked too hard, they're crying. You know, I don't want my kid. They're out there. You're going to lose some of them, and you're going to lose some other good parents that might be down with everything you were doing up until this point, but just this is new and I don't like it. I've been doing it for 22 years, so when you walk in my school, it is part of the culture. It is. You see it on night one. When you come do your 2 free classes and your kid's on my mat, you're going to see this right off the top, and parents can either go, this is not for me, I'm going to take my kid down here and play with water noodles, or this is exactly what I was looking for. And I have a reputation for it in my area. Like I said, that people leave other schools to come train this at my school. I allow cross training. I got people that stay at schools, reputable schools, but it's funny, they're paying dues for jiu-jitsu at one school, but then paying me dues to teach their kids self-defense. And when I grew up, they were one and the same. They weren't two different things. You weren't paying for sport and then paying for self-defense. Jiu-jitsu meant self-defense. So your hardest sell, buddy, is going to be your parents, like adapting it. But if you make the move and start doing it, just, you know, don't back down. Just be willing to say, look, this is the direction we're going with the school. I will tell you, if you're a heavy competition school, you know, it's hard to balance. I split my year 6 months and 6 months so that I can focus on this. It's hard to focus on points and sport and do well. That's why for 6 months, we don't do this. We just focus on that so that I do well. And then when I do this, this is all I focus on, because then I focus on teaching my kids self-defense. We don't mess with any kind of, and there is a difference in sport jiu-jitsu and self-defense jiu-jitsu. What you train, how you do it. You know, you don't butt scoot, you don't pull guard, you don't de la hiva. There's so much in jiu-jitsu that is, I just think, is garbage for competition, that is not real for real life street. So we focus at jiu-jitsu for self-defense, and it's get in and get the job done. And then we go over here and we work on points. So I thought it was really cool you reached out to me, man. Salute from America. I'm glad to hear somebody in Australia seeing my videos and asking questions. How do I deal with injuries? Never had one. We busted noses, busted lips. Never had an injury. I think the worst injury I ever had is I had a kid get hit in the nose, and I mean, he poured blood. It was just, he was what we call a bleeder. And when he got hit, he laid there and just poured a puddle of blood on the floor, paper towel, cleaned it up. That kid got his nosebleed stopped, came back and won his match. It just, that's the heart and the toughness that I teach my kids. He wasn't going to let that nosebleed stop him. Now, like I said, if you got parents that are appalled by that, be willing to let some parents go. That's my philosophy. Like I said, I always tell my parents, if you like what I do, I'm the school for you. If you don't, I'm not the school for you. There's other schools out there. So much love from America, man. I hope I answered all your questions. And if you got any more questions, hit me up. I will say this. People are trying to talk me into doing a 3-part like video series. It won't be free. I'm being pushed, not pushed, but I got a lot of people telling me I need to do this because of your questions. Some people are going to look at my videos and go, oh, I can figure that out. I do it. And some people like you genuinely have concerns and want to know how to do it from the ground up. So I was going to put out a basic beginner level and talk about what's going through my mind when I pick the kids, what I'm looking for, how to keep them safe, mid-level to where it's go time. Again, it's a lot more aggressive, a lot more going on. I'm allowing more to happen, but still, at what point, what do I stop it? What am I looking for? Where do I make the safe decisions that keeps anybody from getting hurt? And then level 3, where we go full advanced. something else that I think you should know is that on all of my belt tests, you know, like gray belt, they have to win a bully beatdown. I will call them, and it's a challenge. I'm not going to call them up an easy one. It's going to be somebody that could feasibly beat them. So after doing my test and all the knowledge-based curriculum, they have to win the bully beatdown. If they fail the bully beatdown, they don't get their belt. That my school ranks literally on their ability to defend themselves. Yellow belt has to win 2 back to back. Orange belt has to win 3, and you get it. If you get a green belt from me, that means you have fought 4 challenge matches back to back. Recently, if you go back through my videos, I had 2 of my top kids train for their or test for their green belt, and they really didn't have anybody to go against. So I couldn't have them do 3 matches against one another and then flip it and do 3 matches. Yeah, it would have been 6. It'd been 3 of the same kid striking, switching it, and then 3 of the other kids striking. So to kind of cut some corners, since I didn't have 3 people, I had them go against each other. I had them go against 2 big beginner kids that just brought hands, and then I called some adults off the back mat, and I got one big guy and one guy that's one of my strikers, and I just said, you guys choose. Do you want the big strong guy, or do you want the guy that's smaller, more manageable, but striking? Now, of course, I didn't have my adults go full out, like 100% break their jaw. I mean, if you saw how many idiots I have on here asking why the kids have gloves on at all, isn't it kind of pointless? Like I should let kids do bare knuckle fighting in my school. But I mean, it's a weekly occurrence. I get one of these comments. So no, the adults were not going 110% trying to fight adrenaline MMA style, but they definitely gave them 85% of go, you know, so that the kids had to show their skills. And the way I look at it is, if a 16-year-old kid can fight an adult at about 85%, he can fight anybody his age, anybody his size. And that last 15% that we left out there, that's up to fate. Maybe that kid could get that adult's back and choke him out, you know. Now, as they've gotten older, those kids got their green belt. They're going to graduate into my adult class, and they will be training with adults. So they will definitely have to pull their weight. But anyway, man, that's a 20-minute video, just trying to be as thorough as I can. I'll post this. I'm going to post your questions with it if I can get it up there. I just got to figure it out. But if you got any questions, hit me up. And let me know what you think about the videos that people are asking me to record, and the link for the gloves. I'd like to hear some feedback, because I don't know, man, maybe people are interested. I am getting quite a bit of questions about the you know, how do you do it? How do you know? How, where, what, when, you know, like, and those types of questions. You're the first guy to present it to me in a really good, thorough way of several questions. So I wanted to get back to you. Appreciate you, man. Take it easy.